Hey, this is Ralph Garman, and you are listening to the Movie Madhouse. What are you thinking? You know how many options there are on the internet, and you're wasting your time at the Movie Madhouse? Don't tell these guys, but seriously, examine your life.
And welcome to the Movie Madhouse. I'm Rob.
I'm James.
I'm Jason.
And our buddy.
I'm guest Ryan.
Welcome back. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Oh, you know, just living my crazy dream over.
I was just thinking, I never get asked back to anything. I only get asked to once, and then they go, "Oh, never again."
It was 2-1, so we had to invite you back.
That's right.
Yeah.
At least it went to a vote.
Yeah, I was outvoted.
That's right.
No, it's secret ballot. Sorry. Yeah, nobody knows.
Not secret anymore.
So, what have you been up to?
I've been running like crazy, just planning new events. I wrote a book since the last time we talked.
What?
So I wrote a book and I gave it away.
Wow.
Yeah, if you go to the store at gotellsomeone.com, you go to the store, you'll see the book, and you can download it for free. And it's basically a book about how I reunited Jack Bauer with his family.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Well,
Took me a couple days to kind of sit down and concentrate and write and crank that thing out. And it's getting good response already. People are really liking it. They like the price too. They really like the price.
well, yeah, I can see that's a very fan favorite kind of price.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah. Other than that, I'm very excited about tonight because, I mean, I was surprised when you asked me because I don't know a lot of her movies. I know there's a couple that I always get her confused. I get her confused with Jessica Chastain. We're
Who's
doing Bryce Dallas tonight, right?
yes.
Okay, all right. You said Bryce Dallas.
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, that's the list. That's the list I worked on.
Oh boy.
We're going to go with that.
You look confused. Why?
Oh, just because I called Bryce Bruce, but that's just me. That's
Well, fortunately for everybody, I like to keep a backup Bruce Willis list. So
See-
I can work from that one. I can work from that one. I'm okay.
that's handy, and that's why I had no problem because I got my backup Bryce list.
Exactly. You never know when you're going to need a Bryce Dallas Howard list.
Exactly.
I guess I need a Bryce Dallas Howard list.
Right.
That's right.
So now I just have to ask because you sent a couple pictures. Okay.
I did.
First one is this one.
That is yes.
Is that you?
That is actually me. Yeah. That's that was taken last week.
Right. That's
It's the filter. The filter on Instagram is incredible. I love it.
no. That's what the toll of writing a book has taken on you.
That's why I started. I looked just like that when I started, and now.
And then there's you with this guy. I need help. I don't know who this guy is.
That is, I think he's a vampire. I'm pretty sure. He sleeps upside down, from what I understand.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
see, I have to call you on that because vampires have no reflection. They can't take a picture.
Oh, right. Good point.
In the age of digital, there's no mirrors involved.
Oh,
Absolutely.
look at Mr. Smarty Pants down there. So, yes, now you said you wrote this book about bringing Kiefer back to his family. This is the 24 reunion you set up, right?
Yeah. We did it in November, did this 24 reunion, and I literally on New Year's Day, I woke up from a dream with an idea for a book, like how to kind of explain what I did. And, how to, it's basically to kind of encourage people who, it's called, What is Your Big Idea? Right. And it's people who have these big ideas, but they don't really act on them. It's to encourage people to kind of take that step, because doing that thing was one of the craziest things I've ever done in my life, because it was just insanity. It was 9 hours of just like trying to coordinate this event for the first time on Zoom Live. And it went off really well.
And it was a huge event.
And now it's public. Everybody can see it. If you want, we'll send you the link. We'll get the link out if people want it.
Oh,
yeah.
we'll throw it up on the Madhouse page.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then the last picture you sent me, I have no idea why you sent me this.
Oh, that was, when we met, we actually met a couple weeks ago. It changed my life. It absolutely changed. That meeting changed my life. I was pretty listless. I didn't have a lot of ambition, but now I've turned things around since I met Rob and accepted you into my life.
That's one.
The other guys aren't buying it. They're not just not buying it.
No. They're saying
so that it kind of goes with the other picture because I'm kind of giving away one of my lists. This is Sam Phillips. She's a singer, but she also played Katya in Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
I remember. Yeah,
she did not slash my throat much, but you may remember her from. She was Jeremy Irons' girlfriend in.
Okay.
So I was trying to prepare as much as possible. I would look at that picture every couple of minutes. I would listen to stuff like this.
Oh, where is he?
There's the single. Then of course there's the full length. Had that playing.
Return of Bruno.
Return of Bruno, but also the
Moonlighting.
Oh wow!
Found it at a record store a couple months ago.
That's
nice.
awesome.
So that was all I did today. I studied more today than I have ever done in any university, in any college. You guys are good, and I want to kind of be up to par.
And Bryce has an extensive career, so
Yeah, exactly. Mandalorian,
right? Well,
it's good to see you guys again. Very
Good to see you too.
Welcome back.
Absolutely. Let's get to our top 10 Bruce Willis movies. And this topic came around obviously because of the big news of his diagnosis. And Jason and I were just talking about this the other day. We noticed that the Razzies, they rescinded their award this year, the top Bruce Willis movie of 2021, or worst Bruce Willis movie of 2021. He took the award back.
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
The Razzies never do that.
And that also sparked, I believe they have officially now rescinded the worst supporting actress for Shelley Duvall in The Shining because of the stories that have come out about how Stanley Kubrick tortured her on set to make her as terrified as possible to get that reaction.
Huh.
He tortured her.
Wow.
And apparently it had already been being discussed, and apparently this kind of helped make that happen as well.
I see a landslide of like a lot of Razzies being returned and rescinded.
I don't know about a landslide. You look at this situation. It's extreme cases, right?
Right. Okay. Yeah. That was pretty for the Razzies. That was a pretty classic move.
Yeah, I don't think Halle Berry has a case.
Sandra Bullock loved hers.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, some embrace it, but the smart ones embrace them.
Yeah.
Well, you should.
The Halle Berry story is that she won the Oscar and then went over to the Razzies and picked up her Razzie too, all in the same night or something.
Ardola said she heard that about Shelley Duvall as well.
Huh.
I did not.
I'm trying to say her name right. Ardola. There we go.
Duvall. Shelley Duvall.
There we go. Well, in that case, let's get to our list of the top 10 Bruce Willis films.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking just before the show, just before you logged in, right, that there is a diversity here that's insane.
Yeah.
And
I'll tell you right now, Bryce Dallas Howard was easy to make a list for. This was not. There's been so many different eras of Bruce Willis in the last 35, 40 years. It's pretty crazy.
I just put Spider-Man 3 10 times.
Yeah, so much easier.
Exactly.
I put Look Who's Talking all the way down.
Right?
Yeah, sorry. Spoiler.
Well, okay, I'm going to fill out your list. Let's start with our guest. What's your number 10?
He just said it. Look Who's Talking.
All the way down.
I got to say this before. I've created a list that I pretty much probably will not be invited back after this. There's some emotion thrown in here. There's irrationality thrown into here. So let me just say I've enjoyed doing this podcast with you guys already. You may cut me off in the middle. I make it to 6, and you're like, no more.
All right, that's enough of him.
Gone.
Yeah.
Whoa. Thanos, like that. Boom.
Snap.
Blind Date. I started with Blind Date.
Oh wow.
I saw Blind
Nice.
Date. I saw it on opening night in the theater. I really enjoyed it. I watched it again recently. And I still enjoyed it, but it was his first film. His first
John Larroquette.
John Larroquette. I mean, Kim Basinger, Bill Hartman, Billy Vera and the Beaters were the band.
Billy Vera rules.
Yeah. Stanley Jordan showed up in that film. And
Oh.
do you remember who directed Blind Date? And do you guys remember Blind Date at all?
I remember I watched it. We rented it when I was a kid.
Okay, yeah.
I don't remember who directed it though.
I remember of it. I know I watched it probably a few times back in its day, but it hasn't stuck with me.
Yeah, it was the one where Kim Basinger gets drunk and then she loses all inhibitions and destroys his life.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I can picture like the poster.
Yeah. Blake Edwards.
Oh right.
Blake Edwards. Blake Edwards was the director of Blind Date. So yeah, from a nostalgic standpoint, that's why I chose that one. That was his first one because he'd been on Moonlighting. It was probably the most David Addison that he's been in movies, probably because he still hadn't kind of shaken that off. But yeah, I love Blind Date. Blind Date.
Nice.
That's a great pick. I forgot about that one at first when I was doing my list, and it hit my honorable mentions.
Ah, nice.
Yeah.
See, when we get into lists like this that can go that far back,
Yeah.
it reminds me of these classics that from my childhood and whatnot that I know I enjoyed, and it makes me want to seek them out, and I never do. You know, it makes me angry at myself. Okay, so mine. This might be polarizing because I know this movie isn't very well received, but I'm going with 1991's Hudson Hawk.
Ah,
Nice.
nice.
It's super cheesy. I get that, but that's the charm of it. But I think he's just having a ball in this movie. You know,
Oh, yeah.
the whole thing. He's just having fun.
I
Him
agree.
and Danny Aiello and Richard E. Grant.
Yeah.
The way they would time out their patterns. Oh, we got 3 minutes 42 seconds. Oh, that's this song, and then they sing the song, and it's the perfect timing.
Yeah.
You know, it's got its charms, and it's silly, and it's silly Bruce, which he doesn't do. He stopped doing shortly after this.
Reindeer goat cheese pizza.
Yeah. That's a good call. I like it.
You're right. I remember watching Hudson Hawk back when it came out, and it's like, oh my god, this is trash. And then fell in love with it. I think 5 years later. Oh, Ardala said that's my second. I wish I remembered which one that was because unfortunately I don't know when she typed that. I just spotted it, so all of these are her second.
Oh,
But yeah, you're right. He just has a blast in that film.
yeah,
You know,
I'm trying to remember what year was that? Was that 89?
91,
91. Yeah.
91.
all right, James, what's yours?
My number 10 is a movie called Perfect Stranger.
Ah.
The Halle Berry, Bruce Willis, Giovanni Ribisi. It's sort of like Halle Berry's a journalist who goes undercover in Harrison Hill, which is Bruce Willis, his company, because there's evidence that points to him murdering a childhood friend of hers. So she goes undercover as a temp to find out what happened and see if she can nail him for the murder of her friend. And you got Giovanni Ribisi as sort of a hacker friend of hers who's helping her set up her cover ID. And it's one that's got one of those twists out of nowhere in the movie.
Was this a
pretty
straight
cool.
to video thing?
No. It was in the theater. It was in the
theater.
theater around the time as I think
2007.
around the time of Fracture, I believe, that Ryan Gosling, Anthony Hopkins movie.
2007.
It's a James Foley movie.
I have not heard of this at all.
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, it's better than Catwoman.
But
I like
it's the
that.
fact that
It is far better than Catwoman, yes.
the fact that it's Bruce Willis, it's Halle Berry, and it's Giovanni Ribisi. Like, I've never heard of it.
I don't know that it was in theaters for very long, but it was in theaters. It was one that looked cool. There was a coworker of mine and me, and we were deciding which movie to screen, and it was between Fracture and Perfect Stranger, and we were like, well, Perfect Stranger has the Mr. Brooks trailer on it, so let's watch that. And it just ended up being a pretty awesome movie.
And see, picking movies to screen is a difficult challenge. That's why it was very hard to pick out these two films that we'll be screening the night before. Just in case people are interested.
Both those movies are good in their ways.
Right? Exactly. Yes.
That scares me. Just seeing it scares me.
My pick is a more recent one than everybody else's. It's Once Upon a Time in Venice.
Ah,
I have not seen. Is that the one that Ralph Garman got cut out of?
Ralph Garman? Oh wait.
Yeah, he made a point to point it out on Hollywood Babylon that he was shooting scenes for it, and Bruce Willis basically ordered his scene cut.
Oh wow! No, I hadn't heard that.
Now I'm very curious. No,
I'd like to know how I missed that. I think I might have missed an episode of Babylon.
It was an episode. It was from a few years ago.
Oh, I don't remember.
Yeah, I own it.
But you look at the people in this film: Bruce Willis, John Goodman, Jason Momoa, Famke Jensen, and it's almost like Last Boy Scout when he's older. It's that grizzled detective, like it opens with him, and I'm trying to remember. I haven't watched it in a while. I think he's riding a skateboard in his underwear down the street.
When did this come out?
2017.
Yeah. This is the one that Ralph Garman was cut out of.
I am going to find this movie like when we're done.
Oh, and Adam Goldberg's in it. I just realized that.
Right. Yes.
I need to see this movie.
Oh, it's so much fun. It is.
I absolutely need to see this movie.
That's why it was so difficult, because there's the era of the last 11, 12 years that I've seen almost all of them, if not all of them, and I probably own 75% of the ones that he's done since 2010.
Oh wow!
But it's so diverse. It's like crazy.
Yeah, it's like, almost like a different Bruce. Yeah, I love it.
All right, Ryan.
That's why I was so excited to do this. Bruce Willis is amazing. Like he's from day one, he's been amazing.
And that's just it. Even in a bad movie, there's not a bad role. Like you still love his character.
Yeah, the idea that he may not do anymore is heartbreaking. He's a working actor. Like he wants to stay working, and he's been able to do that. Mad respect.
Yeah. And that, like I said, that totally makes sense now for the past 3 years, why he's been putting so much into these films.
Right.
Because he knows he's at the end of the rope, like
just get as much out as he can before he has to.
Yep. Yeah. So number 9, Ryan, what do you got?
Number 9. Okay, this will be divisive. I'm going with North.
I have not seen that one.
No.
I remember seeing trailers for that.
The majority of the people, at least on the interwebs, that have seen it, hate it. Like I've heard Rob Reiner, who is the director, apologize openly for this film.
Really?
The list is Graham Greene, Jason Alexander, and Julie Louis-Dreyfus. Like everybody has like a 4 or 5 minute cameo in the film. Like it's like the Muppet movie. It's just loaded with all these people. So it's Jason Alexander, Julie Louis-Dreyfus play Elijah Wood's parents. Reba and Dan Aykroyd are in it. John Lovitz was really good in it. John Ritter, which I don't know where that fell with John's passing.
It came out in 94.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Elijah Wood does this Fiddler on the Roof routine in the middle of it. It's pretty funny. Alan Arkin. I'm absolutely ashamed to say that this was the film that turned me on to Alan Arkin. Like I knew who he was, and I knew he had done On Couple and all these films, but that was the movie. He almost does this Marx Brothers type total monologue that was just amazing. And I went back and found Alan Arkin films. I really went back and kind of dug into it just because of this film that most people hated. It's got Scarlett Johansson in a very small role. Jesse Smollett. I didn't realize that until I rewatched it this week. was Jussie was in it somewhere in there playing a child actor.
So many
Wow.
Yeah. So it's pretty crazy. And again, directed by Rob Reiner, and it's the one that he most apologizes for, apparently.
people. IMDb gives it a 4.5.
Yeah,
Ooh.
okay. That's higher than I thought it would be.
Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah.
That's in the area of, I got to
Ooh.
check this out.
That's that one blemish that that Reiner is stuck with. That's that. There's always that one.
Red-headed stepchild.
Oof.
I like that. I mean, again, I probably where it was. Again, a lot of these are going to be like where I was in life.
Yeah.
Where I was like, I just enjoyed it for what it was. I liked all the cameos. I thought they were cool. This is the last time to me that Dan Aykroyd was funny. Like that kind of stuff. So I really like it.
Okay.
Wow.
Jason, number 9.
All right, my number 9 is from '97. I'm going to go with The Fifth Element.
Nice.
Again, he's having fun, but now he gets to have really super crazy, over the top, silly fun with all the space stuff. And the fact that The Fifth Element does have roots in the old movie Heavy Metal. There are roots there.
Oh, don't tarnish Fifth Element with that. Oh.
This was also my first introduction to Luc Besson, and
Really?
I love all his stuff. Yeah, I hadn't seen Leon the Professional prior to this, so
Oh, okay.
so yeah, I love Luc Besson stuff.
Yeah.
I love everything he's done.
With the exception of, Nikita.
I don't know if I watched it.
It's
That Fifth Element might be my favorite Luke Perry appearance in a film.
Oh,
Yeah.
Aziz, light.
What?
How long do we have for this Armageddon? 5,000 years. Oh, so I got some time then.
Oh, and Gary Oldman. Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Chris Tucker.
This
Yeah.
is my number 2,
Mm.
Fifth Element. I rewatched this film so much.
But is it for Bruce or is it for Gary?
It's for everybody.
Everybody. Oh my gosh.
Mila
regrettably,
and her-
I have not watched this in a long time.
Well, Mila and her control of that language was
Oh.
insane,
The
Yeah.
made-up language.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
right? Oh my God, it was insane.
Amazing.
That to me is just another feature of Luc Besson. He loves to really push the
Mhm.
envelope on a lot of weird stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the costumes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like Fifth Element, obviously, the Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets is just—it's all the same universe, and they're just gorgeous.
Yeah. It's very much similar to that movie.
Oh,
Good call.
John says Fifth Element, one of my all-time favorite movies. Good. John's got taste,
John, you have taste. You absolutely do.
right? But you're right. Gary Oldman in this one too. He's a freaking chameleon. That guy.
Mhm.
John Emmanuel Baptiste Zorg. Was that the full name?
Yeah, I love how it all just rumbles together naturally. You know?
I miss movies you can quote.
Oh man, big time, big time.
That was a big one.
You think about
Multi-pass.
yep.
I have a multi-pass. I bought a loot crate a couple years ago, and in it was a multi-pass where you can pull it out and you can put like your birth certificate or like a card in it, and if you have a multi-pass.
He's hotter than hot. He's hot.
Oh my God, Chris Tucker was insane in that film too.
Oh, boy.
This was
Ruby
his
Rod.
breakout. It was
Yeah.
his breakout.
Yeah.
No, this was
Friday.
after Friday.
It was after Friday. Yeah. It wasn't next Friday, but it was after Friday. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but see, sadly, I knew him from Fifth Element before Friday.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I watched Friday. Nobody really jumped out. I had a blast watching it. But Fifth Element, man, he's
got the best line from Friday, though.
he glowed in this movie. Like you can't help but see him singularly in this film. Okay.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And not just for the head
No
kicker,
argument.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, James, what's your number 9?
My number 9. Okay, understandably, none of you likely have heard of this movie. I found it by chance and just happened to like it a lot. It is called Catch 44. Oh, nice.
I've heard
and it's sort of it has very much a Tarantino kind of way of storytelling where the events don't occur in linear order. They jump around and stuff. You have Bruce Willis, Malin Ackerman, Nikki Reed, Deborah Ann Woll, Forrest Whitaker, Bruce Willis, Shea Wiggum, Brad Dourif, and I would say the standout in this movie is probably Forrest Whitaker. But in a scene with Forrest Whitaker, Bruce Willis has a monologue towards the end where he talks about running bear and some incident in the natives' life that is just it just brings the movie not to a standstill, but it's just like, oh, this is my favorite scene in the entire movie, and it's Bruce Willis delivering the monologue. So I think it's a great, pretty unique movie, and it's my number 9.
Now,
Catch 44.
I'm concerned because Ryan apologized for North, which got a 4.5 on IMDb. You have not apologized for Catch 44, which got a 4.6 on IMDb.
North has had a lot more years to be hated.
Okay, that makes sense. When did this one come out? 2011. Yeah, I guess it had at least 10 or so years. Got to wait for it to catch up.
I see no reason to apologize for this movie. I mean, maybe for Bruce's soul patch in the movie, but not the movie itself.
Good.
Let me see. My number 9 is one of his time travel movies, Looper. That's my number 1.
Higher on mine.
Number 1.
Number 1, really?
Oh yeah, Looper is so good.
I don't mind it, but
what did you like about it, Rob? Give us the.
I love time travel films because I constantly want to watch them for inaccuracies. You know, like, well, wait, if he goes back and he do this and all that, and this film just rocks it because he's going back and he knows his younger self is there to kill his older self. But yeah, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt just killed it as a young Bruce Willis. You know,
just the whole, I have to try and kill my older self. My older self is here to stop me from killing this kid who's going to end up being this holy terror who takes over the criminal underground. And there's very much not a predestination, but a butterfly effect kind of thing where like I'm going to kill myself and that'll erase things from history. I think it's amazing. Well, Ryan Johnson's third film.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah.
I mean, if he'd done a full butterfly effect, he probably would have erased Ashton completely. It would have changed Bruce's life forever.
Yeah. Ooh, well played, sir.
Crossover.
I like
that's interesting. You're right. It's got a butterfly effect. There's elements of butterfly effect in that whole scenario. Does anybody know? Was that prosthetics that Joseph Gordon-Levitt wore?
Yeah. Okay. He wore prosthetics to make himself look more like Bruce Willis.
Yeah, because his face is like frozen into like Bruce's look.
Ooh.
And I like how they even point out the fact that I'm not going to talk about time travel. We're getting into like stick figures and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's his second movie. Oh wait, third.
I thought the second movie was Brothers Bloom.
It is. Brick is the first one. I didn't see.
Brick is the first one. Yeah.
Brick is the first,
yeah. And then his fourth one is Star Wars.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Your fourth film ever is the Star Wars film.
Mm-hmm.
We're not bitter at all.
Not at all. We refuse to say the man's name ever again. Oh, look, Greg's here.
Yeah.
Hey,
bye, Greg.
Welcome to the post-WrestleMania podcast brought to you by the Movie Guys. Exactly.
Yes.
So we are now on, because that was my number 9. Yeah, now we're on number 8. Ryan, what have you got?
Number 8 is one of the rare. I mean, how many sequels has Bruce Willis done? Not very many. Oh no, I guess it's
outside of Die Hard.
yeah, right. You're right. I guess they're Red 2. Yeah, never mind. Forget I said that. He wasn't in the original. This is one where he was not in the original. He was in the sequel. I'm going with G.I. Joe Retaliation. And that's when you'll probably cut me off. Yeah.
No, that's I actually I saw that in 3D originally in the theater, and I thought it was a little disappointing because I liked the first one so much. And then I have the very hard to find extended cut on Blu-ray.
Oh, okay.
And it makes it just a little bit better.
Huh. Like the Justice League recut?
Not that dramatic. It doesn't add 2 hours to the movie.
Okay, sorry. I mean, there's so much to like about. I liked the first G.I. Joe movie. It was. I turned my brain off and I went into it. Right.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes, I loved it.
You had like Marlon Wayans running around like crazy and climbing over stuff, and it was fun. And Ray Park, of course. And then Retaliation was delayed. I remember being in the States and all the toys were out, and the movie was delayed for like another year. Like they had G.I. Joe Retaliation stuff on the shelves for Christmas, but the movie got pushed back. I think it was like at least 8 months or something crazy.
Yeah, it was either the rumors are it was either to film more scenes with Channing Tatum or to convert it to 3D. Okay. There's never been a straight answer.
Right. And there hasn't been a third, so maybe there's our answer.
No, I mean, technically they
Tatum die near the beginning of this. Spoiler, sorry.
Yeah, in the first like 10-15 minutes, because apparently he hated the first movie because he was forced into it and he didn't get to play the role he wanted. Yo, come on. Really?
Yeah, if there's anybody that's on the edge of their seat that hasn't seen G.I. Joe Retaliation,
right?
Yeah.
That being said, his scene playing the video game with The Rock is hilarious.
Yes. Yeah. Any movie that gets rid of Channing Tatum early is cool by me.
Ooh.
Henry Jackman. Henry Jackman had a great. I mean, Bruce is a glorified cameo in this, but he's just so cool. It's just
because he plays Joe. Yeah.
Yeah. He's the original Joe. He is the original Joe. Spoiler. I was between this one. I'm going to tell you right now, because from a cameo standpoint, I was between this one and Charlie's Angels Full Throttle.
Jesus, I have not. I barely made it through the first Charlie's Angels.
if you blinked,
I didn't even know Bruce was in the second. That's how much I avoided it.
He likes it that way. But you know who else was in this that I never paid attention to? Walton Goggins was in G.I. Joe Retaliation.
What?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's the warden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was not on my radar, but.
Yeah, Retaliation didn't work for me. So
no.
No, I love the first one. Retaliation failed.
Yeah.
I understand. It took me a few viewings.
See, I felt like the first G.I. Joe movie was like actually watching the action figures in a movie.
Yeah, I agree.
And the second one they tried to take it
I'll be right back.
far.
But for me, it was it was a turn your brain off film. I didn't have to think about it. And the end scene of Bruce in full uniform was just cool to see. I'm a huge Bruce Willis fan, obviously with all my records and crazy stuff. So yeah, seeing him in that. I actually saw him in concert once with the Accelerators, but we can talk about that later.
Oh, wicked!
It's pretty crazy.
Okay, well in that case, Jason, let's get your number 8.
My number 8 is 2007's Live Free or Die Hard. I'm sure we'll get into the origin of John McClane and all that stuff later, but for me, this movie is this is John McClane out of his element. He doesn't know how to handle these guys, and he doesn't know how to work with technology. This is grumpy old man John McClane still doing what he does best, and it played so well.
Yeah. What was the tagline? Analog hero in a digital time, or something like that?
Something like that. Yep.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
And it's just all the fun. They ramp up some of the action from previous films, and Justin Long was that nice comedic sidekick there.
Yeah. And that's where we meet the daughter. I'm trying to remember who it was.
Mary Elizabeth Winstead, I believe, played it.
Yeah,
See,
she's
I'm
great.
sorry. I'm calling you on this one, Jason. I now know why this is on your list.
Why?
Kevin's in it.
Well, there is that too. Yes, that was the cherry on top. And then knowing that fact that Kevin wrote that whole scene, because
is this Live Free or Die Hard?
Yes.
Yeah.
Who is this man?
They were filming that scene. It wasn't working. Bruce was getting angry with the director or whatever. And then Kevin's like, "Hey, just give me 20 minutes in a laptop and I'll fix it." And he did, and he saved the movie.
I think isn't this pretty much he tells a Threevening with Kevin Smith? He tells the whole story.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, his what he gets out of the movie on the Threevening is longer than his scenes in the film, which I love.
Oh, that's Kevin.
That's Kevin. Yeah, exactly.
Well, James, you came back just in time. What is your number 8?
My number 8 is Heart's War.
Ooh.
Now, this one, it has Bruce in a pretty important role because he's sort of in charge of the plot to escape from this POW camp that they're all in. And it is a Colin Farrell movie. What are the chances? But that being said, it also has Terrence Howard in one of the best monologues of his entire career. When he's on trial, when they're having their trial, and he gives his whole, I've been sitting here listening to all of this and blah, blah, blah. I can't go through the whole thing because I haven't memorized it, but it does have a great Bruce Willis and Colin Farrell performance, but it has an outstanding Terrence Howard performance. But since it is a Bruce Willis movie and he has a ensemble role in it, it is my number 8, Heart's War.
Don't have it memorized. I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed, James.
I am too.
Well, my number 8 is one I go back to every once in a while, and I think it's more for the kid than Bruce, but I love the dynamic. It's 1998's Mercury Ride.
Yes, this almost made my list.
Mine too.
Yep.
I saw this twice in the theater.
Oh, nice. I figured somebody was going to choose it. It didn't make mine, but it came really close.
Well,
very close.
That's where we start talking about all this diversity. It depends on where you gravitate towards, the kind of Bruce you watch.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I just read this trivia today. I didn't notice the coat he wore in the movie was the same one he wore as Butch in Pulp Fiction.
Oh, wow. Huh.
Same character.
I had never seen that pointed out before. Same character. Yeah, he quit boxing, became an FBI agent.
Exactly. We can connect them.
It's not as big a stretch as you think.
Right? All right, Ryan, what do you got for number 7?
Number 7. I mean, one of the things I really noticed as I was preparing and studying hard was he's such a good collaborator. You know how there's so many Hollywood people that just need to be the center of everything. He's okay to be in the movie, and he's the name, and he's been the draw. But then we look at the people that he worked with, and the directors. He's pretty amazing, and pretty unique in his ability to not have to be the center of everything. At least in the film, maybe off screen he wasn't, but I mean, in the film he was very generous. I picked Lucky Number 11.
Oh, that's my number 2.
Is it nice? He's not in it a lot, right? But he's the cornerstone of the whole film. The whole film kind of hinges on him. And even like I was looking at it was on I think it was on Disney Plus. I pulled it up today. And it listed It listed Josh Hartnett, Bruce Willis, and Lucy Liu. It omitted the other 2. It's like, oh yeah, by the way, Morgan Freeman and Ben Kingsley are in this.
Yeah. That movie. I remember my buddy watching it. He's like, this movie's going to kick your ass 7 ways from Sunday. And he was totally right.
Yeah, yeah. And I didn't like Josh Hartnett before this film, too. I did not like him at all. And I think he was great. I think what he is. I've been a fan since.
He is great in this. And Bruce has a great, the scene that opens the movie.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I need to revisit it. I don't remember anything from it. I know I watched it, but I don't remember anything from it. So...
It's one
He's
of
a
those
rabbi.
ones-
Why does he call him the rabbi? Because he's a rabbi.
He's right. He's got a little bit of snatch, like almost like dialogue to it. Like that kind of cadence to it. But I probably watch this one once a year. Like
Well,
I
wait.
love.
That might be good or it might be bad. Is it one of the other actors' dialogue or is it Brad Pitt?
Oh,
Oh yeah, not Brad Pitt.
Okay, we're good. We're good.
I just love when you watch that movie. The subtitles just go question mark, question mark, question mark.
Yeah. Pikey. Yeah.
Clue.
We're not even gonna try. But yeah, Slevin's a lot of fun.
Nice. And it's conveniently your number 7, so that's kind of
It
neat,
is,
too, right?
No, lucky number 7.
Jason, what do you got for 7?
we're going to 1994. Zed's dead, baby. Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just, his Butch. It was just calm and cool, and you had no idea what he was planning. And then how he maintains his composure during what happens.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's my number 5.
I'm not surprised that I knew it would pop up on somebody else's list. It had to.
And the iconic scene with him and John in the apartment, you know,
Yep.
it's like that never happens. But if
Oh,
his
yeah.
wife, it's bound to happen at least once or twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you wonder, would John have died if the Pop-Tarts hadn't popped up at that moment?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think so.
Bruce
I
just
don't
took
think
it as cue.
Yeah, he was. I don't think he was reacting to the Pop-Tarts at all.
Nope. He goes up. There's my chance. Good pick, Jason.
That is a good pick.
Now, James.
Now, some of you may have heard of this, may have not. My number 7 is Assassination of a High School President.
I have not.
I will tell you that I own it, but I've never watched it.
Oh, it is so funny. It is. It's like Brick in that it's sort of a mystery investigation that takes place by a high school student around high school events. And you got Bruce playing. He plays the principal of the high school, Jared T. Kirkpatrick. And there's the night before the SATs, the questions get stolen, and he's sort of the no nonsense principal, but he's got the whole he throws out funny one-liners about certain girls saying do I come down to the strip club, slap the dick out of your mouth, and the one guy is chewing gum, he's like, I hate gum, and you see him taking his jacket off and he lurches forward and pulls the gum out of the guy's mouth and throws it because he wants to talk to him just straight up. It is a great movie, and he's got I'd say he's a standout of the movie just because of how quirky the performance is.
I gotta watch this.
That sounds weird.
It's a little weird, but it's very entertaining. Because let me see. Misha Barton, Bruce Willis, Michael Rappaport. Some of the actors you might recognize, some of them you won't. Or you'd recognize them from just small indie movies.
Wow, those names that you said I like. Gotta watch it. Okay. You sold me.
I will watch my copy.
And see, now, Ryan, after your number 7, I have to rethink my number 7 because it shouldn't have been number 7. It should have been number 6.
Okay.
But my number 7 is The Sixth Sense. See, I should have put it at 6. I wasn't even thinking. But yeah, I can rewatch that. It's almost like watching a different movie when you go back knowing what you know.
Yeah.
I find that movie has very little rewatchability personally.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't watched it since it first came out.
What?
Nope.
I don't
Didn't
watch-
need to.
I have not watched it since VHS.
Yeah.
Dang.
Wow. No, I like his performance. I thought was great. Like really, everything getting Haley Joel Osment. I mean,
There's nothing wrong with his performance or Haley's or Donnie Wahlberg's,
right.
Yeah, he was amazing.
Yeah,
but I just found it was one where the twist was really all the movie had going for it, in my opinion.
right. You know what? It depends on when you saw it, too. Did you see it when it came out?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because people were really good at not letting that twist out.
I did. I was able to see it before much word got out. Yeah. It was in college. Yeah.
That was long before the internet, so.
Yeah.
1999.
Not before the internet. No.
Now you get spoilers 2 days before a movie releases.
If you're lucky.
Yeah.
Hey, and Toni Collette. You know,
Yeah.
That's probably the first time I ever noticed her, like, and kind of picked up on her, what she brought. I mean, she was great. I mean, yeah.
I had seen one Toni Collette movie before that, and it was Mariel's Wedding.
Oh yeah.
I don't think I've seen that one.
It's pretty good.
All right, number 6, Brian.
6 for me is Death Becomes Her.
This movie's hilarious.
Okay, see, all right, that's the reaction. I was hanging on, like, is this going to be a good reaction or oh god?
I've heard mixed reactions about the movie, but when I finally saw it, that movie is hilarious.
Robert Zemeckis directed.
Especially the whole this. If you've seen it and appreciate it, you understand this.
It's true. I mean, Sophie's Choice is Meryl Streep, Goldie Hawn. I would love you know what? Here's the running joke, and I watched part of it the other day to kind of brush up. They were named Madeline and Helen, and the only reason they were Madeline and Helen, so that at one point in the movie they could go Mad Hell. It was like that was the only reason their names were like Zemeckis. But the whole setup was so they could say Mad and Hell together. I thought that was beautiful.
Nice.
I mean, was it 92? Yes, a 92 level, graphics and CGI, and kind of just really starting to,
throw Elvis in there for flavor.
Exactly. And I think if they decide to remake this movie, which it's going to happen eventually, they should combine it with Sex and the City, and do the whole where they remake the 4 or 3 from Sex and the City, and they give them eternal life, eternal youth.
Death Becomes Her in the City.
So we can see them fall down the stairs at the end.
Nice.
I could see HBO doing that. Actually,
I think that's next season. I think that we just spelled out the next season. It's one of those movies that has the ending is just funny. Like it's funny all the way through, but the ending is pretty. Because I don't know if you remember the funeral scene, and they've aged or they're falling apart.
Literally. And
they're laughing at him because he lived and he died a natural death, and they're laughing at him, and then they trip down the stairs and fall apart down the stairs. I love it.
It's such a fun movie. What did it get on IMDb?
It's fun to see Meryl Streep do a movie like that.
6.6.
Yeah.
6.6.
That's better than I expected.
Yeah, 6.6 is good.
Yeah.
That's a passable.
All right.
Yeah.
Jason, what do you got for 6?
My number 6, 2005 Sin City.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
I love that movie. I was a big fan of the comics, the source material, and the whole story of how they got Frank Miller to sign on and everything. But they pulled off the look right out of the book, and Bruce Willis just fit the look of Hartigan perfectly. He played it perfectly because Bruce Willis does classic like noir gumshoe like nobody's business.
Absolutely.
And it comes up in so many of his films. And this is just him at the hardcore level of it. I just revisited this like a week ago.
Nice.
Yeah, that is a great film. He's great in it. He's great in it.
Like
good.
I'm just focusing on his story, I know, but I love the whole movie, every part of it. But his story particularly was just so perfect.
Especially, him and Nick Stahl.
Yeah.
The Yellow Man.
Yeah.
That yellow bastard.
Yeah.
So many people in that movie. Powers Booth was in that one.
See,
I know. Yeah, Mickey Rourke.
That's
Elijah Wood.
Yeah.
That's a prime example. Dude,
Go.
of what you were saying, Ryan, about the ensemble as opposed to being the star.
Yep.
You know, that movie has no star.
No. He got. I think his story might have been the longest because it was the two-parter, right?
I think
Maybe.
so.
I'm just gonna mute James's mic for a while. Oh wait,
I was already covering my mouth.
Unlimited power.
I think his was largely the one with two parts. I mean, Mickey Rourke's had a few, but yeah.
I need to watch that again.
Oh,
When I listen to you guys when I'm not on the podcast, I'm always writing stuff down, going, "Oh yeah, I got to watch that."
Gotta watch
Oh, I never saw that.
dude, I do that on the show, so I gotta listen.
Thank you for your service.
Nice.
James, number 6.
Okay, while I said before the show went to air that I did not count Split because his part was sort of a cameo during the post-credit scene.
Yeah.
And Unbreakable was almost made my honorable mentions. That being said, this one is my favorite out of those 3 movies, and it is Glass.
Good flick.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still James McAvoy's show, but to see when you get like Unbreakable and then Split, oh my God, it's the same universe, and then they all smash together in one movie.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It was the Infinity War kind of thing, you know, that it all came together. It all came together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's an awesome way to put it.
Yeah. Although Split needs an honorable mention because that last sequence when he shows up was mind-blowing. Was pretty.
Oh yeah, and the only reason I disqualify is just because he's only in that one post-credit scene. It's not really the movie proper.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I get that.
But I remember seeing that in the theater. Had no idea that was coming. No idea.
Yeah. Hi, Nathan.
Hi, Nathan.
Nathan's here. G'day, Nate. Yep. That means it's morning in Australia. Was it 8, 9, 10? Oh, it's noon there. Noon tomorrow in Australia. Yes.
Send lotto numbers.
Right? Let me see. My number 6 is, again, another ensemble because there's no one lead for this 2010 movie. And it is just hilarity. It is Red.
Yes.
Nice.
That's your number 2?
Oh, hell yeah. God damn, I love that movie.
That's a crazy cast.
You're right. The ensemble, to say he's the lead is kind of pushing it. But no, he's the focal point.
Yeah.
He's the catalyst that brings everybody together.
Mm-hmm.
But literally, it is an everybody film.
Oh.
Like I've said it before. Where else can you see John Malkovich carry around a teddy bear that you know has a machine gun in it?
The pig.
A pig.
The pig, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I'm getting the pig.
No other movie. And it works. You know what I mean? Like this.
But it's the fact that and Malkovich was so over the top, and you think he's crazy, but then you find out he's not. He's always right. The helicopter numbers.
Mm-hmm.
He was always right.
I mean, I shaved my head today in honor of Bruce Willis and his career, but I was tempted to create a list of 10 when Bruce had hair, and then 10 when he didn't. I think it would have made my life so much easier to try to narrow it down.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah.
Top 10 Harry Bruce movies.
That's right.
I'm not Googling that. I'm not Googling that.
All right, let's get to number 5.
That, please.
Ryan, what do you got for 5?
Number 5, Fifth Element. Because the description on Netflix today was, he's a 23rd century cabbie trying to make a buck. When he meets a gorgeous alien, all hell is about to break loose.
Yeah, that's
trying to do my best Will Arnett voice and get that down. All hell is about to break loose.
That movie is so awesome.
Just that description, and again, Ruby Rod, and Gary Oldman. Gosh,
Well played, sir.
Love that film.
All right, then quickly to Jason, your number 5.
1998, Armageddon.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I thought.
Oh yes.
I honestly, I'm now because I played with this list a lot today. I feel like I probably should have had this up one slot. I probably would have switched my 4 and 5, but I'm going to stick with it. Armageddon. I just love the hell out of that movie. It is just perfectly over the top.
Way wrong answer.
Yep, that opening is awesome.
And then when you're looking, you talk ensembles, and you got friggin' Owen Wilson just playing a nut bar.
Yeah.
Oh, that is a huge ensemble.
Yeah.
And Liv Tyler and Affleck were just adorable. Come on now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. Let's go
Agreed.
down the list here. Bruce Willis, Billy Bob Thornton, Ben Affleck, Liv Tyler, Steve Buscemi, Owen Wilson, Will Patton, Michael Clark Duncan. Who else is there? Keith David,
Peter Stormare.
Oh,
Stormare.
yeah. That's
Peter
right.
Stormare, yes, as the Russian.
Oh,
the crazy
shit.
Russian. That's right.
William Fichtner.
Oh my gosh, this is totally on my list.
With William Fichtner with one of the best lines in the movie.
Okay, I need to find out who Grayson McCouch played.
Grayson, who the hell is Grayson McCouch?
He plays a character in the film named Gruber. I don't recall a
Gruber.
Oh,
Gruber.
he's one of the astronauts. He might not even had a single line.
Okay.
He was one of the astronauts that got blowed up.
I was gonna say.
Oh,
It's the
okay.
second time Bruce has come face to face with a Gruber.
Ooh.
I never heard that before.
Hmm.
No, it'd be the third. It'd be the third time.
Oh wait, yeah, that's true.
Look at you. That's good.
All right, James, what's your number 5?
My number 5 movie I saw 4 times in the theater. It is 1997's The Jackal,
Oh
Yeah.
remake of The Day of the Jackal, but you have Bruce Willis playing, not for the first time a bad guy, but I'd say for the first time a legit villain,
Right.
and
Mhm.
against Richard Gere, Sidney Poitier, Diane Venora. Yeah. What's your number 4? Nice. Very
I know.
close.
Told you. I told you. I could have flipped that with Armageddon. Honestly,
Yeah.
Nice.
you got he was intense as the villain in this film.
And an early film from Jack Black.
Yep.
Mm. That was Richard Gere, right?
Richard
Yeah.
Gere. Yep.
Yeah.
Playing an Irishman pretty well too.
Yeah, that's a great film. Yeah, like I said,
It's
there's
like-
eras of Bruce Willis films that you could get a 10 out of, just
Yeah.
that era.
Mm-hmm.
The Jackal, what was the other one? Mercury Rising. Those were all in that same time frame.
Yeah.
He had his period of intensity,
Yeah.
and he just brought it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
He's had a great career.
My number 5 is Pulp Fiction, which we already talked about.
Mhm.
So that bumps us to number 4, Ryan.
Number 4, I call this the pre-Looper. It's not. I wrote it down wrong earlier today. I called it
Ooh.
The Kid. It's not The Kid. It's Disney's The Kid.
Oh,
Oh.
yes.
Disney's The Kid. If you look at that and the parallels with Looper, it's kind of frightening.
I haven't seen this one either, but I have always heard about it.
The reason that one stands out for me is I think it was like the second movie that I took my son to see. He was probably 4 at the time, maybe 5.
Oh, nice.
The message of like spending time with your kids and all that kind of thing was really like kind of the center of that whole story. Like it was basically the story of a guy. I don't want to ruin it, but it's a guy who basically just like only works. He's just a complete workaholic, and how he comes back to visit his older self, which is
Mhm.
Looper, right?
Basically, yeah.
He just doesn't try and murder him.
Well,
Disney 5.
arguably it does. I mean, Lily Tomlin, Gene Smart, Spencer Breslin, of course, Emily Mortimer was great. One of my favorite lines from this was somebody called a wham-ambulance.
Yep.
I've heard that term before, but
Now you know from where.
That's it.
yeah.
That might be where it started. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. But it's really, again, like being a new dad and all that kind of stuff. Like it all kind of, that was one of those stories that we watched, and later in life we watched it again, and we probably watch it every couple of years. And it's just a really good. It's a story about getting your priorities straight. That's all.
Nice. It is a good film. I got to admit, I haven't seen it since it came out, but yeah, it's a good film.
Yeah, it was. Then that was. I took him to the theater. Like we didn't go watch it at home. That was our second theater experience together. So.
Good call. Greg says, Bruce Willis, I better have Cop Out at the top of most of your countdowns or consider yourself defriended.
Nope.
Yeah.
No.
Nice try, Greg, but not even I can do that.
I'll save
Best part of that movie is Kevin's story behind it.
Yeah, basically.
Right now,
you got out of it.
It's listed at 143 on the 144 movies that Bruce Willis has done.
It's not that bad. It's just after you hear about what went into it. Yeah.
Well, let's see what your pick is for number 4, James.
Me? My number 4 is a movie from 2014. It's one I think I've mentioned on this show before. I can't remember the circumstances, but it is a movie called The Prince. And Bruce doesn't have a big role in it, but his role does have some significance related to the plot. It's mostly revolves around a character played by Jason Patric, where he is a former hitman who got out of the life and has a daughter, and his daughter gets kidnapped, and he thinks it's because he was trying to kill this crime lord called Omar, played by Bruce Willis years ago, and he ended up killing his daughter instead. So he thinks Omar is behind his daughter's disappearance. So Omar is played by Bruce Willis. So he has a small role, but integral. It's sort of like he's going after the wrong people, but the guy hasn't forgiven him for killing his daughter, obviously. It's a direct-to-video, and it was one of several that Bruce did with the director. I think it was Brian A. Miller, but really good. And you also have it amounts to a cameo. It's John Cusack in a couple scenes, right. But it's another time where he has a really great monologue in one big scene.
Interesting.
Don't know.
He's listed.
No, I'm not surprised you don't know it. I found it by chance again.
Only one of the 2 films he did that year, because he did Sin City 2 and then that one. And Greg is shaking his head at all of us.
Yeah, well, I'm shaking. Oh, wow.
And then he said James has Hearts War at the top of his list due to Colin Farrell.
No. It was number 8. Greg. Right. he did his research.
Yep.
I will say this: I did a stint at Family Video for about 2 years during.
Oh yeah.
So the years that Bruce was cranking out a bunch of stuff. So I either picked them up or I got them for a deal. But I've seen most of them. I've seen this one. I've seen that one. Yeah.
Nice.
Cool. Yeah.
All right. My number 4 is Armageddon, which we already talked about. So now, Ryan, number 3.
Number 3 goes back to Looper. Looper is I love that movie. I put the kid and Looper kind of back to back on that because they're the plot line similarities. But I mean, I don't even know if we mentioned Emily Blunt.
Oh yeah.
That might be the first film that I noticed, kind of realized who she was and what she brought to the table. I thought she was great.
Yeah.
Very
also
good.
great part by Jeff Daniels and Paul Dano. It's just a great cast all around. I mean,
yeah. And Joseph Gordon-Levitt doing that face. It's just
yep. All right, Jason, number 3.
My number 3, Yippee-ki-yay. Gotta go Die Hard.
The original?
Gotta go 1988. Yep. He set the standard for what an action star can be and not be some muscle-bound martial arts master, whatever.
Yep.
He did, but there's 4 Die Hards better than that one. It's just my opinion.
Am I the only one old enough to have seen that in the theater on opening night?
No, but
okay.
you. Right.
I didn't see it on opening night, but I did see it in the theater.
Okay.
I'm old enough to have seen it, but not without adult supervision.
Right. Yeah. There's a stack of films set as my kids have gotten older. It's like, okay, now we can watch these, and that was the
Inside the Bunker. No, it is not.
The question of all questions, is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
It is not. According to Bruce Willis himself, no, it is not.
Yes, it is. I'm going to mute his mic for a second because
I don't think Bruce is the authority. I have a hard time thinking Bruce is the authority on that. It's set
Bruce would disagree.
Hey,
Bruce can disagree. Everybody's entitled to be wrong.
In honor of what we're doing tonight, I'm not wearing shoes, and I put glass all over the house. So that's how committed I am to the movie Madhouse.
Oh, you know how my second floor is all rigged with C4, and at the very end, I'm blowing it.
I'm method, man.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, James, number 3.
Oh, is it me already?
Yeah, we just talked.
Okay. My number 3. I'm just checking something really quickly.
Now,
yeah. Okay. My number 3.
A second, James. From is right because the mouse does outrank Bruce Willis, and according to Disney,
what are you talking about?
A Christmas movie.
Disney owns it.
No, it's not. Oh, yeah. Anyway,
on his shirt. Ho, ho, ho.
My number 3 is from 2006. It is the last film Richard Donner directed. It is 16 Blocks. Yeah,
that missed my list, but that's a great film. And Richard Donner. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I had hoped that he would have directed another film after this, but if this is the last film that he directed, you went out on a high note, sir.
Is that the last one he did?
The last one he officially did, yeah.
Wow.
They credit another one of the Superman 2 the Donner cut after it. Right. But it was the last theatrical film he directed. But I mean, Bruce Willis, as he was known back then, Most Def, David Morse. Let me see.
His second film.
Oh man, it is outstanding. This movie.
I mean, Donner is such an icon. I finally watched. I don't know why it took me this long, but I watched the Donner cut of Superman 2 last week. I did not realize the difference. I didn't know it was that much of a difference. Crazy.
I know. I've never seen it.
Yeah. And Donner started like with the Twilight Zone, and like his career is just, I love it. And he's such a great, I don't know if you listen to commentary by Donner. It's so fascinating. He's such a cool guy.
Nice.
Cool guy.
Yeah.
But I forgot. Yeah. Donner did 16 Blocks, which was a great film. I agree. That almost made my list.
Very, very cool. My number 3 goes back to 91. And I watched this for one actor, not Bruce. And then ended up falling in love with a little actress that I then watched in my favorite horror movie. It's The Last Boy Scout with Damon Wayans.
Nice.
And Danielle Harris. Yep.
Damon Wayans.
Doing the little dance of the Irish jig on the Jumbotron.
Yep. That's your number 1?
Oh, nice.
That's my number 1. That is the Bruce Willis movie I have watched the most, I'm sure. Like
Billy Blanks.
Because he's just he plays the perfect like burned out PI.
Yep.
You know, his life is just shit. He doesn't care about nothing, and he gets stuck with this bullshit gig. Like he just plays it all perfectly.
I want to hear you scream in pain. Play some rap music.
Catches his best friend screwing his wife, and doesn't kill him. The head or gut.
Matt has brought up an idea for a very good topic: the best cameos from Bruce. He says, "Always loved the cameo Bruce did in National Lampoon's Loaded Weapon. So surprising and a super funny joke in the film." And it's true. That was a blast.
It's been a long time since I watched that one.
But that's just like I think James said when he's at the end of that film in that post-credit scene. It does.
It's split, yeah.
Yeah, you can't really count that as a Bruce Willis film if he's only in that scene. So he's got a ton of cameos. So maybe that's an idea.
You know, after Bruce Willis became Bruce Willis, I don't know if he showed up on Ally McBeal, as like a therapist for like 30 seconds or a minute. It was like if you
Really?
blinked, but it was like after Die Hard, after his big, his big films, and yeah, maybe it was like a minute long, but it was like if you blinked, you'd completely have missed it.
He did the same thing with
Interesting.
Friends.
Yeah,
Well,
two that 2 episode, but he lost a bet to Matthew Perry when they were making the whole 9 yards.
Oh yeah,
No.
that'll do it.
Yeah, the whole 9 yards,
one-
whole 9 yards did not make my list.
One more thing about Last Boy Scout. It was the first movie where I was introduced to Kim Coates. In that memorable, he kills him with the headbutt.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's right.
Well, he keeps giving him the cigarette and then poof.
Yep, do that again. I'm gonna
That
kill
was-
you.
That was my first
Nice.
introduction to Kim Coates, and he stuck with me.
Nice. Mine, I think, was Waterworld.
Waterworld is my favorite from him. Oh, sorry, before Goon, because
No.
his performance in Goon is just great.
This is not baseball.
Waterworld fits with a lot of people for different reasons. So
Okay, you know what? I take that back. I don't have a favorite Kim Coates because I can't pick a favorite because how am I forgetting Tig? Like, my God.
right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't have a favorite. Just that Last Boy Scout was my first introduction.
There we go. Okay, now we're on to number 2. Ryan.
Number 2.
Yeah, and
Number
honestly,
2 is back.
all of us are spoken for except you, Ryan, because Jason is red, James is lucky number 7, and mine's Fifth Element.
Mm.
So you're the only one for number 2.
John McClane.
It's Die Hard?
According to Disney Plus, he's back on duty and is about to face his worst day yet.
Oh.
When there was like Super Channel on cable when I was a kid, there was a movie called Damage. I'd seen other films, but Damage was like a great story of just a brutal ending. And I was probably like 12, 13 watching it. It was great. Jeremy Irons. Bringing Jeremy Irons on as Hans's brother, I thought that was genius. It's contestable, it's debatable, but I love Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Nice.
And partially because of the Sam Phillips connection as the silent assassin. I like that stuff. And of course, there are 2 Sams in that movie. There's Sam Jackson and Sam Phillips.
Now, it's been a long time since I watched that. Does Samuel L. Jackson say motherfucker at all in that movie?
That's a good question.
I want to say no.
Yeah, I don't know if he does. He must. It's post
gotta.
Pulp Fiction. He must.
He might.
Could he be Sam Jackson? Can he be Samuel L. Jackson if he doesn't?
Well, this was before he was full on the Samuel L. Jackson that we know.
Well, he had done Pulp Fiction, but he was. It was what, 2 years? 2 years after Pulp? No, a year after Pulp Fiction, I think.
I'll look it up. I gotta find out. I gotta know.
Yeah, I mean the whole Simon Says thing. I just loved it. I mean, I didn't name the other ones because I knew they would come up. Somebody would name like Die Hard and that kind of stuff. But I liked Die Hard with a Vengeance. Yeah, I liked it. Liked it a lot.
According to an article, he does. It doesn't give the line.
Okay.
He does.
Okay.
I will get back to you with that. I will find out. I'll watch it again. I'll do the research. That's the commitment I make. That's the commitment I make to all of you.
He also doesn't say it in Jurassic Park, but I think that's because it was PG.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, they could have done an Endgame kind of thing. Wait, it was Infinity War. Sorry, yes. Okay, so now we are at number 1. And Ryan, again, it's you and I on one because Jason's is the Last Boy Scout.
Yep.
And James is Looper.
Do you want to say it at the same time? Do we think we might have the same one?
Oh, no, I don't think we do. Only because I didn't pick Die Hard. I steered clear of that film because it would be number 1.
Because there's 4 that are better than it?
I don't know. Oh, James, we have some technical difficulties here. Oh, wait,
I'm pretty sure I know Rob's. I'm pretty sure I know what yours is going to be.
yeah.
Yes.
Breakfast of Champions?
Ooh, Breakfast of Champions.
You don't have to respond at all, Rob. But could there be bananas involved?
Maybe.
Okay.
Huh?
Okay. All right.
Ryan, let's see what your number one is.
I will tell you, this is the first film that I saw. I saw it opening night. Again, we went to opening night every chance we got. I didn't want stuff ruined. And it's the first movie I went to. I remember that at the end of the movie, we all just sat there. Nobody got up from the theater. Everybody was just like literally, nobody was rushing out. We just kind of sat in it because we weren't sure what had just happened. And it was crazy. It was 12 Monkeys.
Nice.
Did we match?
We matched.
I was right.
That almost made my honorable mentions.
12 Monkeys. Again, I saw it when it came out. I was excited to see it. I didn't know much about
Brad Pitt. Too. That movie is pretty awesome, especially Brad Pitt's performance.
Yeah. It's got the Marx Brothers in it. It's time travel. It's Terry Gilliam. Like that.
Exactly.
That was enough for me. Terry Gilliam really would have been enough, but Terry Gilliam, Bruce Willis, and Brad Pitt. I don't think I'd seen anything by him before that. And this is the same year he did Seven. I mean, that's 95 was a huge year for Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
And I remember just being super impressed with Brad Pitt because I think everybody was swooning over Legends of the Fall and all that kind of stuff, and I was like, I don't want to go see that guy. But
I remember this one. It was he won the Golden Globe for Best Supporting Actor.
Okay, yep.
And it's like, well, he's got it for the Oscars, and then Usual Suspects came out, and like, well, okay, no, it's Kevin Spacey for sure. But I didn't know until after that Kevin Spacey, he beat out Kevin Spacey for the Golden Globes when he did 12 Monkeys.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Great pick.
Yeah, it's so AOL. I was on America Online when this, and there were print ads. It was like Batman. It was like Batman promotion where you started to see the bat symbol everywhere. These monkeys started showing up in print ads like months before, and then they had like this like .com address. And in 95, most people hadn't been on the internet. But like I literally remember this. I remember typing in like armyofthe12monkeys.com because that was the website you went to. It took 20 minutes to load onto my screen. And then all it was just all it was the symbol, the spray painted symbol of the 12 Monkeys. And then you could click on it, and then you waited another 20 minutes for the next page to come up. But it was like I waited. You only got like 10 hours with AOL, which was, I ate up probably most of it trying to wait for this website. But it was like the first time I had ever seen a website used to promote a film. But I'm telling you, like literally nobody got up at the end of this film. We were just stunned, and nobody knew what to do with it. It was great.
I threw away so many of those AOL CDs.
Do you know how much they'd be worth now?
Oh,
nothing.
I'm sure.
Yeah, probably nothing.
I chucked so many of them away.
Why did you choose it, Rob? I'm glad we matched.
Dude, because of how good it is.
Yeah.
Recognize this? I did the same thing with the Army of the 12 Monkeys.
Well, I thought you were gonna play the voicemail she leaves.
Oh no. That would have been cool if I could have found that. It took me long enough to find the internet noise. No, there's the performances. Like Bruce Willis, he's chained to the floor. There's drool coming out of his mouth. You see him going insane.
It's best Bruce Willis performance because it was so unlike anything he'd ever done.
Brad Pitt with his insanity.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, we're all monkeys.
Oh my God.
Oh, and Christopher Plummer.
Yes.
Christopher Plummer was in the Dog Hunt. It's just that was a good year for movies in general.
And what's her name?
Madeline Stowe.
Thank you.
Yeah. Wow. It was like I was so used to films wrapping up nicely. Like here's the answer, here's what happened. And you're left at the end of that movie not really sure.
Very circular, that one.
Yeah. And again, a little bit of Looper.
Yeah.
Well, and it also introduced me to a short film I never would have seen otherwise. and I adore
Yeah. Me
Leggett
too.
because there's only one piece of film in it. Everything else is pictures.
Yeah.
But yet you watch it and you see it move in your head when you're thinking about it. Oh, I love that movie.
Yeah. I have this feeling Bruce Willis wants to meet his younger self. In real life. You know,
I'm getting that. Yeah, because he almost did there. That's what spurred on the kid, and then Looper finalized it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see a resolution where like Deadpool, where he's reading the script for Cop Out, and then he's taken out. Yeah.
Yeah. You're welcome, Bruce.
Well, monkeys, I can't believe we matched.
I know, right?
It's like a dating app.
Dude, it's in heaven.
I heard Hudson Hawk.
I know,
Over the hedge.
Over the head.
Jeez.
Oh, that becomes her.
This element, Death Becomes Her, the whole 9 yards, which was not mentioned.
I think he needs to see more Bruce movies.
I don't see the whole 10 yards
No.
on that list. No.
One that was on my honorable mention that never got mentioned, and I'm surprised, but was Planet Terror.
Oh
Brian
yeah, Planet Terror. Yeah.
There was two that on my honorable mentions that didn't get mentioned: Bandits and The Siege.
The Siege.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
The Siege was one of the ones that I had to take off to try to get down to 10 with Denzel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And who was
Annette Bening.
Annette Bening. Yeah. Siege was great. I need to watch that again too.
Yeah.
I'd put Breakfast of Champions on there too. It was bizarre.
It was very bizarre. I saw that decades ago on VHS.
Don't know that one.
Yeah, it was totally indie. Like it was between two big films. I remember that. I can't remember which ones, but yeah, it wasn't. It didn't go anywhere. I don't think it. I think it was a very limited run.
No, it was based on the guy who wrote Slaughterhouse-5.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, Capote?
No. Damn it. Hang on.
You're just pulling all sorts of trivia out here, aren't you?
I have my moments.
Did you guys
hang on. Kurt Vonnegut. Based on a Kurt Vonnegut book. Because it has Bruce Willis, Nick Nolte, Albert Finney, Barbara Hershey, Glenn Headley, Omar Epps. It has a lot of people in it. I don't remember much about it except that it was weird.
Yeah. It was a Blockbuster VHS rental. I remember that.
That's probably where I bought it from.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, the ones that were on my list, most of you they got covered in this kind of master list.
Yeah, there was just the one that didn't.
There was one that I kind of wanted to include, but I can't remember enough of it, and it was Mortal Thoughts.
Mm.
Oh,
it was him. It was him and Demi Moore and stuff.
Yep.
I saw that for the first time about a year ago.
Really?
Yeah, that was good. Yeah,
I know I watched that movie. I'm sure I watched it a few times, but the only thing I can remember from it is the absolute worst thing to remember from it.
Of course, that's what you remember.
and
you see Little Bruce.
Yeah.
No, you're thinking of Color of Night.
No.
Color of Night.
No. Mortal Thoughts in a pool.
That's Color of Night.
Oh, is that Color of Night? Okay.
Yeah.
March?
Okay, I stand corrected. You're right.
Yeah.
Because it's in a pool.
Yeah.
It was in a pool.
Yeah.
Okay.
And again, Color of Night was between like a couple of his huge films too. Like it just kind of appeared and then disappeared real quick.
Yeah. It's infamous.
Yes.
Well, Ryan, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you,
sir.
Thank you.
Thanks for the invitation. Thanks for throwing me out after my first 5.
Oh, no. It's always a blast having you on.
Your list was awesome. Come on.
Good. Yeah.
So I know you're coming up for CKX. Maybe you can come up the Friday night before and watch some movies.
That would be fine. Absolutely.
Because we happen to know Mr. Gavin will be there with his film.
Yeah, I can't go then.
No, it's a restraining order. That's right.
Oh.
We're like Looper. He's actually me in the future.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We're working on the screenplay right now on that. Getting the rights.
Oh, Robert Taylor's got a good topic. Top 3.
Oh, Rob, top 3 Little Bruce movies. Nice.
There we go.
I can only think of Color of Night. Sorry.
List it 3 times. There we go.
The theatrical, the unrated version.
Don't say Color of Night into a mirror in the middle of the night.
Oh, you don't want to know what shows
Yeah, don't
out.
say that 3 times.
Okay. For another week at the Movie Madhouse, I'm Rob.
I'm James.
I'm Jason.
And our buddy.
Ryan? Yeah.
Yeah, sure, why not?
No,
Taking that name.
I'm Bruno.
And we will see you all later.
Thank you.
Bye.
Toodles.
That's fun.
I say shut up! It's a man!